Welcome to the 7 Secrets to Making Money with VectorVest. My name is Steve Chappell, the Director of Trading Systems Development here at VectorVest, and I'm delighted to be your host for what I think is going to be a tremendous presentation for all of you. You being here alone tells me that you have an interest in VectorVest helping you become successful in the stock market. And I think that's a really great decision because the stock market is one of the best business opportunities in the world. It affords you the opportunity to make money so that you can secure your financial future along with all your retirement dreams and aspirations. It's one of the best businesses in the world because it doesn't discriminate based on age or gender, and it's a business that you can conduct anywhere thanks to the internet. Our founder, Dr. Bart DeLito, has delivered this presentation dozens of times over the years, and it's really stood the test of time, guiding investors to becoming successful investors in their own right with consistent returns no matter what the market conditions were. So as we gear up for 2020, we thought this was a presentation best suited to make the most of the new year that lies ahead. Dr. DeLito himself had years of frustration trading stocks. He got involved with the local AA chapter, sought out a good qualified broker, and all of these endeavors, as traditionally so, led him to only still buying stocks near their highs and selling them near the lows in the future. So he became frustrated and moved out of the stock market for a number of years until, lucky for us, he became snowbound up there in Cleveland, Ohio. And as he sat in his study looking through some of the more popular publications of the time, a Forbes magazine and I think a few others, he finally realized that all of this information, it wasn't telling him what he really needed to know. And that was what a stock is really worth, how safe it is, and when to buy, sell, or hold. So he began developing a system and putting formulas together that he would eventually mail out the information in a booklet called the VectorVest Stock Advisory to his subscribers at the time. And it provided all of the answers to all those important questions on a weekly basis. Today, VectorVest is delivered right over the web and can be found even in your app store for your portable device. So we have both the desktop solution and even the mobile app. And so now our software can analyze, sort, and rank over 23,000 stocks in all the markets that we cover around the world. So just download the app to your smartphone and you'll never be without service. You'll have the power of the system right in the palm of your hand. So one of his goals was to make the system easy to use and to help take the guesswork out of trading or investing. And that brings us to our very first secret. The first secret is to keep it simple. That's right, the old expression, KISS. Keep it simple somewhat, right? Well, this is where the trouble begins if you're not careful. Too often, investors just get buried by data. I mean, it's coming at us at such a frantic pace thanks to the internet these days, right? The trick, of course, is to be able to sift through all that data and only focus in what is the most useful information. And so let's see how we do it. The key to your success is simple. At VectorVest, we believe in buying safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price. And this is not typical of the general education that seemingly emanates from Wall Street or on TV and other places. They typically teach you to buy stocks that are often falling in price to get a better deal. We believe there's hardly a worse thing that you can do than do that. Have you ever been instructed to say buy a stock at $50 only to watch it go down and then be told to buy even more at say around $40 or $30 or $20? I think you get the picture. So instead, we want you to focus on safety, consistent and predictable financial performance. We want you to focus on the stocks being undervalued so that you're not paying too much to take part in that opportunity. And most importantly, rising in price. Ultimately, it's been our experience that stocks who are rising in price more often than not continue to rise in the future. And so he sat down and developed formulas around all of what you see here called the VectorVest system. The VectorVest system was then designed to provide all the useful information you need to know to make money in stocks. These 4 indicators will get the job done right. So they're all cast on a 0 to 2 scale, so above 1 is favorable, below 1 is unfavorable, And that's really what makes VectorVest so incredibly easy to use. Relative value, or RV, provides insight into the upside potential, or long-term price appreciation potential of a stock, in relation, say, to a similar investment in a AAA corporate bond. Where would I be better off placing my capital? Relative safety, or RS, often referred to in our literature as the missing link, it looks at the consistency and predictability of financial performance. You need to know how safe your investment is, and rarely is that information given to you. Relative timing, or RT, is the most important indicator on this list because it tells us the short-term price trend, and we're more interested in buying stocks that are rising in price. And so that leads us all to the VST, or Value Safety Timing Vector. It's our master indicator for ranking every stock and will bring right to the top of a list the stocks that have the best combinations of value, safety, and timing. If you want to learn more about VectorVest and the system, then you should build a watch list. This is going to be the best place to start, especially if you're brand new, but everyone should have at least built one of them. So let's go out and build one together, because it's going to provide the fastest, easiest way to learn about VectorVest. It truly takes the guesswork out of managing your portfolio and can save hours upon hours of valuable time. So right within VectorVest, the desktop application, all we have to do is come really to the Welcome tab, as you see here on your screen. And on the Welcome tab, there's going to be a nice 3-part tutorial that's going to walk you through not only putting your watch list together, but also some of the benefits of having done that in terms of analyzing and ranking the stocks, looking at the graphs, and heeding the color guard or market direction. So let's just quickly put a few symbols in here and let me show you what I mean. As we type in a symbol, you'll also notice that it does provide a nice little drop down here. So even if you're unaware of a symbol, you can just begin typing a company name. But once we've got them all entered in there, separated by a comma, we'll just click on Add Stocks. Even if you make a mistake, it'll give you some clear guidance on how to get it fixed up. So after we've got the symbols in, we'll just go to the bottom here and click on Analyze My Stocks Now. Once we do that, a little player will come up and begin walking you through the tutorials, which can also be a self-guided tour, as there's different topics that you can skip to. Most importantly, it puts your watch list in there titled How to Manage Your Stocks. And so the benefits are clear. Right away, as soon as the stocks are put into this watch list, they're rank ordered. So the stocks with the best combinations of value, safety, and timing go right up to the top of the list. And that would be your Humanas and AMDs and Microsofts of this list. And then, in just the reverse, the worst of the bunch in terms of value, safety, and timing gravitate towards the bottom of the list. And that's where we find Beyond Meat, Shake Shack, and Netgear, for example. Most importantly, this list tells you exactly what your stocks are truly worth, what kind of upside potential the stocks have on a 0 to 2 scale, the safety rating on a 0 to 2 scale, relative timing or the short-term price trend, and your overall master VST score for each and every single stock. We're going to come back and revisit this list in just a sec, so let me go right back into the presentation. In terms of managing your portfolio, that can be a breeze now that we have the watch list put together. What we need to do is focus on selling the low VST vector stocks that are going down in price, hold on to the higher VST vector stocks that are rising in price, and look for those kinds of stocks as our new candidates to buy. And over time, you'll be really impressed at the dramatic difference this will have in terms of the quality of your portfolio. And so we call this process healing a broken portfolio. Let's go take a quick look then again at the watch list, and let me show you what we mean. So if we just take, for example, a sampling of the top stocks from the list, and along with that, a sampling from the bottom, you'll notice that all your buys gravitate towards the top. Any sells that you might have, again, sink to the bottom here. And so when we graph them, we'll look at, say, a 1-year graph for each one of them. The stocks that are naturally going to be found at the top of the list are going to have much nicer price performance and nice price patterns. and generally have the fundamentals to go along with that price performance. So we see that with Humana, also with AMD and Microsoft. As we get to the stocks that were found at the bottom of the list, that's where we find our Netgear and our Shake Shack and our Beyond Meat, and you can clearly see the difference in the performance of the stocks. These are the stocks that are inevitably dragging the portfolio down, and so this is where the work begins. What you want to do is get in a habit of once a week or whatever's comfortable, come in here and begin peeling off the stocks at the bottom of the list, and then healing that portfolio even more so by focusing on top VST stocks to buy. So I can quickly get there by coming over here to the left, and instead of watch list viewer, we'll just scroll up and we'll go to stock viewer. And the stocks that have the best value, safety, timing combinations from the over 8,300 stocks that we track will be found right here at the top of this list. And you can see that generally these stocks are undervalued, they have terrific upside potential, they're safe, and they're rising in price. So what could be any easier than that? The second secret is learn to read graphs. Never buy a stock without checking the graph first. You know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and graphs don't lie. Graphs reveal a stock's DNA. What you see is what you get. We want you to favor stocks with smooth price patterns, rising from the lower left to the upper right side of the screen. And so in referring back to the watch list here very quickly, let's take, say, Comcast, for example, and compare that with Humana. So we'll graph the stocks. Again, we'll look at the 1-year time horizon. And here we can see with Comcast, you have quite a lot of volatility and turbulent price pattern. So when we say what you see is what you're likely going to get in the future, you would expect that this volatility will continue to persist because it always has. When we look at Humana, by contrast, here we have a stock that's nicely moving up at a nice, smooth, and steady pace. To give a classic example of this, let's take a quick peek at Visa and even go back, say, 5 years. Now, this is a weekly chart, and boy, look at that beautiful price pattern. And so what's driving that price higher is beautiful forecasted earnings per share. And so that's the earmarks of what we call a VectorVest simple approach to buying the right stocks. We want to be favoring smooth, steady rising price patterns, and we really want to favor those stocks which also have smooth, steady rising forward earnings per share numbers, because that's the engine that drives stock prices higher and higher and higher. And by and large, that's also what gives you the safety to the stock. We even have an indicator to help you find these babies. And so if I come back over to Stock Viewer, there's an indicator on the screen called CI, or Comfort Index, and that looks for persistent price growth. So those lower left to upper right graph patterns. Yep, I'd say that this one here at the top certainly qualifies. And as we go down through the list, beautiful chart patterns are emanating on your screen. It only took, and how quickly were we able to pinpoint these stocks and get them right at our fingertips. That brings us to the third secret, which is heed the color guard. The daily color guard is a precise system of timing the market. It's so important, it's located at the top of the home page. The daily color guard functions like a traffic light. Green is bullish and it's okay to buy. Yellow is neutral, caution is advised. Red is bearish, do not buy any stocks. So the color guard does not tell us when to sell. And that's an important point to make here. We want to let our stop prices rule the roost in terms of managing the stocks that we own. But if we refer over to VectorVest very quickly and just go right up to the Home tab, here at the very top, right now it says the color guard is neutral. We've got 3 yellow lights across the top, and so it says here that VectorVest advocates caution when buying stocks at this time. And so it wasn't long ago. In fact, you can see all the green in the historical color guard down here in the middle of the screen. And by and large, over the past couple of months now, we have been advocating buying stocks. But here again, on today's action, let's take a little bit more of a wait and see approach. And so you can see it's very easy to use and very easy to interpret. When in doubt, watch the daily color guard reports. And so right back on the home page, as you scroll down here just a bit, we always present in the strategy section the ability for you to click these little buttons, link out to a video where one of our top instructors will walk you through all that we see developing in the platform and ultimately give guidance on how to best use VectorVest according to what we see. So why not dedicate just a few minutes of your day to getting up to speed on what the market is doing and how to implement strategies that are consistent with the market behavior. The fourth secret then is to exploit the home page. All the information you need to make money with VectorVest is right on the home page. In fact, it's designed with the front page of, say, a newspaper in mind, in that the most important headlines are found right there on the home page itself. And so as we saw moments ago, the headline story always begins with market analysis and market direction. But as we dig a little deeper into the home page, you'll see what are some of the top momentum stocks in the market. Those will be our Midas touch stocks. You'll also, as we scroll down, see the stocks that have the best combination of value, safety, and timing right here at your fingertips. It will also give you insight into the top performing industries and sectors in the stock market. And a simple right click of any of these would then allow you to graph, say, the stocks within that industry so that you can make sure that the industries are also rising along with the stock at the time of purchase. And that is a really good idea. The fifth secret is to learn to trade options. And unfortunately, most investors believe for various reasons that options are risky. But in reality, they were developed to manage risk. So let's take a quick look. It's not necessary to learn to trade options to be successful, but they can be a great tool to help get the job done. So options can be used to provide leverage, reduce risk, lower cost, generate income, and increase alternatives. And so when we say provide leverage and reduce risk, a 6-month at-the-money option, assuming normalized volatility of around 40%, usually runs about 1/10 the stock's price. So on a $60 stock, the option may be $6 in value. So when we think about that, it would certainly require less capital to control an equivalent number of shares. Where people get in trouble is they try to do a similar investment amount and over leverage instead of really using options the way they were designed to reduce capital exposure. What this will also allow us to do, of course, is to buy put options to protect single stock positions, or even use something called an option collar to protect up to an entire portfolio. They can also be used to generate income. James Penna, our Director of Retirement Services, illustrates these key principles all the time in something we call the Ultimate Retirement Solution. So if you're interested in this concept, he will be providing all the coaching you need to get the job done right. And you'll learn all about how to sell covered call options and do it the correct way to generate income. Because let's face it, the days of the yield premium and the dividends getting you all the way home don't exist anymore. And so options are a great way to compensate and really give you the income that you desire. And so another great way is to learn how to do the credit spreads. That way you don't even have to come out of pocket on this underlying stock itself. And in the end, they just increase your alternatives. You can make money whether a stock goes up or down and use something like a straddle. And I've done a number of these myself on FDA phase 3 clinical trial announcements, make or break situations on a company. There's been wonderful documentation in our product in the VectorVest Views where Dr. DeLito did the straddle of a lifetime really on the Martha Stewart situation and actually made money on both sides of the straddle in that case. As initially it looks like she would skate and then boop, got thrown in the slammer. And so the stock price moved in wild gyrations both directions. So stock options provide tremendous amount of opportunity. The sixth secret is to stay informed. That old saying, ignorance is bliss? Well, that, my friends, doesn't apply to investing. Here at VectorVest, we provide all the information you need to be a successful investor. Here's just a few ways we can help you stay informed. First and foremost, read VectorVest Views. It's a wonderful little daily newsletter that covers all the important things that you need to have covered within VectorVest. It gives you daily guidance on market direction and strategy. And on a Friday, we have a more comprehensive newsletter that also goes into some of the more important, pertinent topics that are currently happening on Wall Street. It's a wonderful place to go to stay abreast of what the stock market is really doing. Also, take the time out of our busy schedules to watch the Daily Color Guard Report. Again, in just minutes a day, it can go a long way to make sure that what you are seeing in VectorVest is really what you want or need to know. Our top flight instructors are going to make sure that we pass along those nuggets of wisdom and information from things that we've even learned in the past to keep you on the right side of the market. Watch our special presentations just like you're watching now. We put one out every single week, and it's always informative, and there's always something that can be learned by taking the time out to watch these presentations. They typically are focused in on things and tactics that you can be doing right now to succeed in the stock market. And finally, our educational webcasts that cover a myriad of topics, very comprehensive, and you can get a complete list of those upcoming webcasts right on the homepage of your product or on VectorVest.com's website. And so don't miss out on any of those opportunities, a lot of which are free. And then that, friends, brings us to the seventh and really a very important secret called be an optimist. I've seen Dr. DeLito, deliver this presentation many times, and when he does it, it's so inspirational. I'll never do it as much justice, as he does. So I'm going to share with you his words around be an optimist. I seriously believe you must be an optimist to make money in the stock market. Optimists generally expect favorable outcomes, and why would anyone invest in stocks who wasn't expecting to make money? Optimism is a good thing, but there's a fine line between being an optimist and being a fool. Fools are Pollyannas. They believe all outcomes will be favorable, even though they didn't take the time to properly assess risk factors and the odds of adverse outcomes. They're tied to a feel-good mentality, whether they win or lose. A lot of investors are fools. We call them speculators. They just don't take the time to learn how to trade properly. They jump in with both feet, make snap decisions, enjoy taking long shots, buy risky stocks, and flirt with the risk of ruin. While they go on chasing the impossible dream, one dream after another, they can get lucky and they can make lots of money. In any event, they are more successful than pessimists. Pessimists are underperformers. They're like the dogs that won't hunt. They generally don't have the confidence to apply the abilities they were blessed with and won't put in the time or effort or really the work it takes to become successful. While they won't admit it, they're losers. They always have an excuse for not doing what they said they were going to do. Well, I'm glad you're interested in VectorVest. It tells me that you are a true optimist. You have the self-esteem, the confidence to believe you can do it. You can make money in stocks. And you are willing to devote the time and effort to become successful. An important part in becoming successful lies in learning how to gain from adversity. Don't let failure stand in your way. Determine what caused the failure to happen. Then make certain it never happens again. By eliminating these errors one by one, you will become better at what you're doing. When it comes to investing, we have all suffered losses, serious losses, at one time or another. Quitting isn't going to help in getting our money back. Just keep on getting better at eliminating those errors, and please give our 7 secrets a chance to help you along. And so, folks, I would like to personally thank you for listening to this presentation. At VectorVest, we firmly believe we have all the information, tools, training, and techniques you need to make money in stocks and generate income. Our mission is to provide the best stock market guidance available anywhere and at any price. We sincerely want to be here for you every single step of the way. We value your business, and we know that our success is dependent on your success. Thank you again for visiting us here today at VectorVest University. I want everybody to have a happy new year, and we'll be right back here for you next week. See you then.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.